Welcome to Mythic Folds. My name is Joe and I'm going to be teaching my design of the snowflake. As you can see by the sample, it's one color on both sides of the sheet. And if I bring out my other two samples, you can see that the model does color change. So it will be white on one side and color on the other. It all depends on which side of the paper that you start on to get one of these two effects. For this tutorial, I'm going to be using a color changing sheet so you can see how the color changes happen. You can use a square sheet of kami paper, any size that you want, as long as the paper itself is thin, because what's really cool about the final product is you can shine this in the light or put it up by your window and you'll be able to see translucent shadow effects through the snowflake. So I'm going to pull out my sheet already, and the snowflake pattern that we're going to be looking at today is this one because I like this better. So if you choose to use color changing sheets and want to have a snowflake that looks like this one, where the white appears on the diamonds with the spikes, then we are going to start our paper with the color side up. And if you decide to make a snowflake with the color appearing on the diamonds with the spikes, then you're going to be starting with your paper white side up. And if you're using a sheet of paper that's one color on both sides of the sheet, it doesn't really matter for you. But once again, I'm going to be teaching the snowflake that looks like this purple one, because I want the white to appear on the diamonds with the spikes. So I'm starting with my color side up. So I already begun the first few steps. So the first thing that you do is to make two sets of book folds and two sets of diagonal folds. So I'm going to refold the book folds first. And then refold the diagonal folds. Okay, and we're going to make a blitz base. So what that is we're going to bring each of these four corners of the square right to the middle of the intersection. And that is your complete blitz base. And once you have the blitz base, we're going to turn it over to the back. And you're going to rotate so you see the square. And we're going to make some pre-creases. We're going to start at the bottom. We're going to bring this raw edge to the middle line. And it's going to be sort of a half cabinet fold. So what you want is you want to create a crease that runs from this diagonal to the other diagonal. And when you do fold this, you're allowing this flap to flip. So when you're folding, do not fold that corner in half. This should not be folding. So it's going to look like this. I line up the raw edge with the middle line and press. So see this upside down triangle? You're going to press from one edge to the other edge and unfold. And you have that pre-crease. You repeat that same process on the other 3 sides of the square. So your pre-creases should create valley folds of a square within a square. So once that's complete, we are going to fold along those creases, as well as the creases that run to the corners. So basically what we're doing is, let's start with one corner. Pinch as it folds toward these inner creases. And yes, you are allowing this flap and the other flap to appear. So we're kind of creating a squash. And we want to do all 4 sides of the square at the same time. So once you pinch one corner, pinch the other corner. And it's probably best that you hold up your sheet of paper instead of keeping it flat, because you want these 4 corners in the back to pop up. So that's the second corner. Here's the third corner. And here's the fourth corner. Okay. Once you pinched all 4 corners, and they're folding along those inner valley folds, let's begin to squash one corner at a time. So let's start with the top left one. And I'm going to go clockwise. So each one is leaning in a clockwise direction, almost similar to the origami pinwheel. So once you have this, we're going to rotate the paper, and we're going to work our way around with these 4 flaps that you just squashed down. So let's switch all of them. So you can add creases. Now let's return to that first corner. And what we're going to do is we're gonna raise this tip that's up downward. So we're focusing just on this top middle corner. And first thing you want to do is we're gonna raise these down. So follow these two mountain folds and pinch and pull. And what's gonna happen with this middle corner is you're going to open up the pocket. Open it up all the way to the end of this corner. And it's going to squash. This is where the color changing begins to happen. So make sure that these two were already pinched. You have the mountain folds as your reference. Open this pocket all the way through and squish. So you have this rocket house looking shape right now. And to complete this part, we're going to do another squash fold, sort of a swivel squash. So let's start on the left side. Follow this point, follow the valley, followed by the mountain, and it will squash. Same thing on the right. Fold along the valley, followed by the mountain, and squash. So we're going to repeat this process 3 more times on these 3 corners. So once you complete the first one, we're going to rotate. The second corner is now on top. Fold this flap on the side down, so you're only focusing on this middle top corner. So let's repeat all those steps again. Grab the left and right top corners and fold along these 2 mountains. So they want to fold down, and then this one wants to spread. So to make it spread, you have to open up this pocket all the way through to the end of the corner right over here, and then squish it. As you can see, that crease is lining up with the white crease. And we have that rocket house shape again. And once we have this, let's squash these 2 left and right corners into their squares. Fold along the valley, followed by the mountain. As you can see, this corner is going to meet that top corner, and the result will be a square. Repeat on the right. Fold the valley, followed by the mountain. The corners will align, and you'll get a square shape again. Okay, let's do this process 2 more times. So once you complete this, rotate. The 3rd flap is on top and in the middle. Fold this extra flap down so it doesn't bother you. I'm going to go a little bit faster now. So once you did all 4 of those corners, you should have this space. Almost looks like a flower. So what we're going to do now is we're going to make some more color changes with kite folds. So let's start with 1 square and kite fold from the bottom down. Repeat that process on the other 3 squares. Okay. And just to get this out of the way, let's do rabbit ears on all 4 of those kite bases. So we're just gonna make inside reverse folds starting over here. So if you see this line that runs diagonally, you're gonna pinch inward and then it will swivel to the top. And repeat that 7 more times. So the whole base has 4 fish bases on each corner. And now we are going to add some diamonds over here. And the trick to do that is there are flaps hidden right behind each side of the fish bases. So we're gonna fold along this vertical crease and it will pull out, and when you complete the fold, see this crease? This crease is going to land on that vertical crease. So everything is symmetrical. Once you have that, you can fold this over and you will have that kite shape again with the addition of this flap sticking out. So we're going to repeat this process 8 more times all around the base. So let me go again slowly on the right side so you can see again. So fold along that vertical crease and pull out the flap that's hidden behind that fish base. And then when you complete the fold, this crease will align with that crease. When you have that, fold it over. All right? And repeat these 2 folds on each of those diamonds. So when you're done, you should have a flower-looking shape. You have 4 fish bases and 4 other diamonds. They kind of look like closed bird bases in a way. And we're going to be working from the inside now, so more like behind each of these diamonds here that you just completed. So here's what we'll do next. We're going to fold 1 flap over. So we're starting on the top diamond, fold 1 flap over. And we're kind of going to be doing rabbit ears again, sort of. Well, these are technically just inside reverse folds. So pre-crease it with a kite fold along that vertical line, unfold it, and then refold it with an inside reverse fold. And it's going to fold to the end of that line. That stops at the raw edge. And then fold it back over, and you have an even diamond, half of it. We're going to repeat that again on this other side. So fold 1 over, kite fold, unfold, and turn it into an inside reverse fold. And when you finish, fold it over. And repeat that process again on the other 3 diamonds. So to make it easier, if it's easier for you, rotate it so that the next diamond will be on top, and repeat again. At this point, guys, it is going to be repetitive. Everything is now repetitive. You have your base. You're just going to do a whole series of reverse folds and swivel folds from this point forward. I'd say right after we finish that diamond, everything will be swivel folding. So that completes all that inside reverse folding on those diamonds. Now they're evenly spaced looking diamonds now. So 4 diamonds here and then 4 fish bases. So let's work on those fish bases again. So I'm going to rotate so that 1 fish base is on top in a vertical position. And like I said, the remainder of this origami is going to be swivel folding. There are technically 3 more steps to do, and these 3 steps are just going to be repetitive. It's going to go all around the base at this point. So the first swivel to take care of is on the fish bases. So let's start on the top left and hold on to that corner of the fish base, and we're going to swing this bottom half over so that this edge leans on that lower edge of the diamond, and it will run toward the intersection. And then the top half wants to follow. That's the idea of a swivel fold. So this corner is going to stay flat, and then this part here will color change. The edges will align. It will run toward the top tip. And you have that effect. That creates the very first spike of the diamond. Repeat that process again on the other half of the fish base. Okay, so that's one spiked diamond taken care of. We're going to repeat that process again on the other 3 fish bases. So if it's convenient for you, flat on the table, rotate so you are focusing on the next fish base that's on top. Pinch one corner and fold the bottom half so that the edges align. So one edge of the fish base meets the edge of the diamond. Color changing, keep this corner flat, and then this one wants to follow with a squash. And the edges are aligning. It's running toward the tip on top. Repeat that process again. All right, I'm going to go a little bit faster now. Okay. So once you're finished, you should have the color changing diamonds with spikes, and that is how you get the color changing effect on your snowflake. So we don't have to worry anymore about color changes. It's already there. The pattern is practically there already. We just gotta the next step is to shape this base into the snowflake, as well as add some fractal patterns on the back side. So those are some minor details that we have to do. So let's work on the next set of swivel folds, and it is directly behind these diamonds here. So let me rotate so that the first diamond is on top. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fold this over on one side. So watch how I do this swivel. It's going to run from this corner of our spiked diamond to this corner of the regular diamond. So start with that spike. The swivel starts with the spike. So as you can see, the edges align, and then you want it to run toward that corner. So here's what's tricky about this step. What I just showed you, that the swivel is going to run from that corner to that corner, that's the reference. But how it's going to look when you're done will vary for each of these diamonds. So in this case, here, this is a swivel fold. So when it comes to swivel folding, everything is very simultaneous. Like, it's 2 folds happening at once. That's what's tricky about swivel folds. So I'm practically folding back my diamonds the way they were. The idea is to just hide that raw edge right behind the diamonds. So, and I was explaining what they look like when they're completed. So see, it almost looks like the folds are going to that little corner. It will vary from corner to corner. They will all not look the same, but they're all the same folds. The idea is that you get a swivel fold that runs from this corner to that corner. That's the whole idea, okay? So let's repeat that process again on this side. So you need to have very intricate hands to complete this swivel fold. So we did 2 swivel folds on 1 diamond. We got to repeat that process again on the other 3 diamonds. So rotate so that your next diamond is top and center. Fold it over. Let's start, you can start on either this corner or that corner, doesn't really matter. Whichever one you're comfortable with. And then close the 2 diamonds simultaneously so that this swivel closes all together. I think for this origami that I'm folding, the swivels are actually looking cleaner than my last ones. So who knows, if your hands are really that intricate, then you'll be able to get really clean swivels. Okay, I'm going to go a little bit faster now. Check. Okay, so that ends the swivel folds of your snowflake. So we are almost done. Let's turn the paper over. Let's turn the model over and work on very minor folds here to just add more appeal to the fractal translucence of the snowflake. So see these spiked diamonds in the back? All you're doing is here, I'm actually going to raise it so you can see it better. It's going to be like, it's almost like the paper cranes. So, and this should be very natural. You're just swinging the left and the right corners of the diamond to that vertical crease. So those are kite folds. Kite folds that are just like making the kite folds of your origami piece crane. And it should be very natural, see? If you forget this one little step, it's fine. It really doesn't make a difference. It's just when you shine this snowflake behind the light, it'll just make the translucence a lot prettier. And let's just stay here because we're going to do the very last step. The very last step is to kind of get rid of this square. So all it is you're just creating sort of inside reverse folds almost. So you're going to be reverse folding along these edges of the diamond. Like this. So basically your snowflake will not really be that flat. Okay, so that's the back of the snowflake. Let's turn it over to the front. So to make it less starry and have a little bit more of a flat essence to it and a little bit more, I would say, pointy frosty, here, we're going to fold pleats like this. So like the middle of this diamond goes mountain, and then the left and the right spikes are valleyed. So let me repeat that again. Right up straight along the middle is a mountain, and the left and the right are valleyed. And I want these diamonds to be very apparent, so without losing the edginess of those reverse folds, here, just stress out those diamonds. Just by a little bit. You can allow them to valley fold, but not completely, where you just don't see them anymore. So just flex them out with mountain folds. And that is your completed snowflake. So I hope you enjoyed my tutorial. Make as many as you want, hang them up on the wall, hang them up from the ceiling, display them on your window so the light can shine through your snowflakes. And I will see you soon. Thank you for joining with me on Mythic Folds.